Morning, it's Kevin here, and today, where am I? Well, this is the fourth Kevin's Rambles walk, and I'm in Pagham, and I've got some friends with me. Let me show you who we've got. Well, you've got the usual two, which is Steve, and Cynthia's there. We've got Darren, and we've got Mike, and we've got Dave. Down here we've got Logan, and we've got Bella. And we are going to head, first of all, to the nature reserve, which is away to my right-hand side. And then we're going to find St Wilfreds Chapel. Yes. St Wilfreds Chapel en route. So let's get going and enjoy this sunshine. So we've got to head out this way. And we are in the Rspb Car Park at Pagham, or Pagham Habour Nature Reserve. So we've got to go up here. Let me just show you the building to my right-hand side. That's where they're situated, at Visitor Centre. And we've got to head this way. Rspb, and we've got to go along here. So we headed this way, straight into the sunshine, which is always good for filming. Not. So we've got to head this way. Well, we've come along now, along this footpath. Let me just show you. We've come along this footpath here. Because we got a couple of dogs with us, there's certain bit areas that we couldn't go into. And then I realised that we're heading in the wrong direction. So we've got this ferry hide just here. So we walk up here and we'll just have a look. Up round here. Sorry if the sun's in the camera at the moment. But I realised that we were heading in the wrong direction. So I said straight away we need to turn around and go back, because it's taking us out into the countryside rather than on the actual loop that we wanted. And the hide brings you up here and to this spot, and this is beautiful. Just look at that lovely lagoon, I would suppose you would call it. And there is a lot of wildfowl on there. There's ducks, mainly ducks I think, but that's lovely. So let's just have a look inside and see what we've got here. So here we are, we're inside the hide now. And that's the view you've got through there. Let me just wander down through this way. Morning, morning. It's all right, it's fine. And you've got the different angle of the different view there. Rather nice hide here, and it tells you the different birds you can see on the plaques on the wall. This is autumn and winter. Rather lovely. And then just in front of us, you've got this map on the wall, and the key points on that you can see through there. So that's the map of where we are. And we'll see that's exactly where we are now. So our route is going to take us all the way around here, down to here, and that's where we'll find St Wilfreds Chapel. So we are. Logan and Bella are having a good look out. Sniffing the air to see what's going on. I'm too late. We'd suddenly heard this noise and realised it was this sluice area here, but we can't get close to it, unfortunately. Which is a shame. Can't get down in there any closer, so that's a shame. But you can still hear the noise coming through the pipes. It must be dispersing the water from the lagoon. So anyway, we've got to head off down this way. Got Darren standing there. Oh, can we get
No. Not beyond this point.
Oh, that's a shame. So we've got to head along here now, and we'll probably be seeing a lot of bird watchers, twitchers along here. And again, filming into the sun, that's never good. So hopefully we're going to see some nice birds along this walk. But we'll see what we can find. So we are still moving along this bit of a footpath, and another member of the walk has just turned up, which is Ian Coughlin, and he got stuck in traffic, but he managed to find us, which is brilliant. So he's now joined us, so he's back there with Dave and Mike. Hello there. So we're just heading through this way now. We've got the reed beds here to our left hand side. Unfortunately, the reeds are covering what we can see of the water. So we've come along now, along the path behind me. You can see all the guys behind us back there, hopefully. But it's changed now, it's opened up much more with where we had the hedge at either side of us. And we've now got this more open area. So where you see more birds and wildlife. You've got one swooping through there now. But if you look, I don't know if you can see you guys out over the top here. See these birds over the top and that over there? But the trouble is, from this distance, I couldn't tell you what the birds are, I'm afraid. So we're heading this way now. And we've got this work that's been going on all the way along the right-hand side of us, where they've been opening up the ditches, which go all the way round, which wasn't like that the last time I came here. It was much more overgrown, and you can see where the banks, carry on Steve, you carry through. You can see where the banks have been cut back to open up these waterways through here, and also cutting through the middle of the field just over there, and it takes all the way through over there. Well, we've just come past the harbour and looking out towards where they've come through the banks, where it goes out onto into the sea. But we've come down to here now, to this covered, well, almost covered footpath with these, as you can see from the film, very high hedges either side. And I think we've got back there, we've got Ian and Mike, and Dave's just behind me. Steve's just up in front. Right, Steve? He can't hear me, he's deaf. And then Cynthia and Darren's right up the front. Well, we should be, I think, going by memory, getting fairly close to St Wilfreds Chapel now, which is rather lovely. You actually go up a couple of steps, if I remember rightly, from this footpath, which we'd have to turn to the right. Oh, let me just spin this round here, and I can show you what we've been looking at as we walk along. As you can probably tell by the little white horses on the sea, it's quite windy, and away in the distance there is the opening that I was talking about in the banks there, coming right through. And then you look across there and you've got all the buildings in the distance. So I'll carry on panning round. As you can tell, it's quite windy. So we carry on along here. Right, here we go. Let me just show you through there, right into the sunshine again. This is St Wilfreds Chapel. So I was right about the directions I was thinking. So we just walk up this little path here. And here's the steps into the churchyard. Visitors are most welcome provided they respect the graves in the consecrated churchyard. So we go up these steps here. Step over here. And this is rather lovely in here. So I'm just going to have a wander around the outside of St Wilfreds Chapel. I've got the lovely stonework here. Again, buttresses on the sides and the end, or the ends, I beg your pardon. And just as you come round, I remember this rather lovely statue here. That's just lovely. That is just a lovely headstone. It is. It's in memory of Stephanie Agnes Wingfield. She died 9th of December 1918. Just above us as we go into the church, or the chapel, sorry, is the bell. And it is quite a small chapel when you go in, and just in front of me now we've got the font just here in front of me, and as we go around, plaques in the walls, and this rather beautiful stained glass window here. And as usual, I love to look at the timbers in the roof, and you go up through there and that's just amazing up through there. And these could be little aumbrys just in the wall, or piscinas perhaps. We come back round this way. Where's the memorial that Mike was on about? So World War I. Oh, there. Oh, yes.
The Canada, England.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's quite poignant, isn't it?
Yeah, beautiful.
It's just lovely. But you think, you know, you walk around the cemetery, and it's a huge cemetery, and just such a little chapel. But yeah, and it's at the bottom of that stained glass window. It says, let me get a bit closer. In loving memory of Vera Buxton Knight, died April the 27th, 1969. Ooh, stuck in the pew now. And just here we've got another one which is depicting all the seabirds and wildlife. You've got foxes on there, you've got an owl on there, squirrel, rabbits, pheasant there as well, yeah, and a heron. It's a lovely piece of work. Just remarkable. And a lovely bit just in front of us, which is all lovely stonework, but rather worn, so we can't read anything on there, which is a shame. But a lovely little chapel. We've got the one single bell pull on the end wall. Hello, Bella. Excuse me. Thank you. And I wonder if there was any frescoes on there at one time. But whitewashed walls, as you can see all the way around. We've got the sun streaming through these stained glass windows on the south side of the chapel. Rather lovely. And this is the church's conservation trust. And it shows you all the churches and my reflection in the glass, which is always bad, of all the churches I'm assuming that they're responsible for. We came away from the church and we stopped by what I thought was a priory, but it wasn't. Cynthia, please tell everybody what it was. It was a castle. But we are now by this notice board. It says Pagham Habour, Church Norton. And it again tells you what you can find here, the birds, etc. And as you walk around, the scenery just changes all the time. You get these little banks that are produced by the shingle. And you've got all these wildfowl out in the water. Again, I can't see what they are. There's no, well, these look like moorhens and that over there, but I don't know if they are. But a beautiful day for this, absolutely stunning. As we're walking along, strategically placed positions, there's a board that will tell you what birds you're looking at. And so far we've seen one that says a curlew and another one that says a dark-breasted. What was that one back there? The dark-breasted what? Can anybody remember? Brent goose. Thank you very much, Ian. I knew I could rely on you. So I've just gone past another board there, but Steve said just now, he said the edge of the water is getting a bit close. Well, that's where the water is, and that's where the dry path is. Someone suggested the tide's coming in. And I think they're not far wrong. Hello, hiya.
Somebody else suggested panic.
Yeah, don't panic, Mr. Mannering. There's another board here. It's probably saying high tide. No, that one's saying a redshank. So that's the type of boards that we've been seeing all the way along at different places. They are great information, isn't it? Really useful. We've just come along that bit of beach behind me, which is completely changed now because we're onto this shingled beach and we're coming up these wooden bits here where it's obviously for boats coming in. Here we go. And we're going to head across here onto this bit here, and it's quite bracing, the temperature, onto this real pebbled bit here. And this is sea cabbage, is it? Sea kale, that's it. And when Cynthia and I were here before, we saw somebody coming along picking a lot of this, and we said he must be from a restaurant. And what we don't want to see is a big tidal wave coming in over top of this hill as we approach it. Let's see what we can see when we get to the top here. I'll race you to the top. That was close. Tripping over a load of sea kale. Well, there we go. We're right at the top. Oh dear, somebody's had an accident just up here. We'll have to have a look at that in a minute, but away in the distance, that's Bognor. As we're walking up to the wreck of this boat, you can see parts of the boat here scattered on these pebbles. Clearly that's part of it. You can see the runners on there. This is very sad to see this. And here we are. Just going to try and go down a bit closer to it. So I'm now right at the water's edge now. I've got to be careful because the waves are lapping up very close to my feet. But just look at that. That is just awful. And the sea, the waves are pounding against it. And you can see where the hull has been stripped of its paint. Just hope that the people that were on that yacht, is what it is, it's a yacht, were safe and saved. That is just so sad to see. Goodness me. Really, really sad. We've come along the seafront now and we've been noticing how some of the seafront properties are looking very much like railway carriages. And in fact, just behind me there, Santos, is actually a railway carriage. Or it could have been a tram at some stage or so, but definitely a railway carriage. So, as I said, I ought to mention this here, which is what I'm doing. But there's been one or two along here that are definitely parts of railway carriages, but this is the most definite. There was hints amongst the other ones, but fantastic. We are just by the sea again, believe it or not. Strange, there we go, the sea. And we've come along this line of houses here. And just here in front of us is this rather lovely sign. And if I try and hold the camera still in this wind, hopefully you can see what that says. Well, we're still here, we're still walking. Unfortunately, because we had to come away from the sea, we had to go through built up area, houses, etc. And the loop that we wanted to take, or the path we wanted to take, was actually closed off because of a building site. And cars both ways. So that added that we had to go all the way down through more built up area, more houses, before we could pick up the footpath again. So we're now on that footpath and we've got to go up here towards the golf club, I think, and pick up the loop this way. So behind me is that long road, and just behind this hedge here is a big holiday camp of sorts. Let me hold that up there so you can try and see, and that's the sort of accommodation they've got all the way through there. But strangely enough, we're in Selsey and it's called the Cabana Club. So anyway, we're here now, coming through this kissing gate. The sign's there, the finger post is there, public footpath this way. And we've got to go along here. And then we follow this path along, if I can remember rightly. And then we come out into a field. And then it's we're really on the homeward leg then. See a ditch through. Here's the field. And Cynthia was quite right just now. Here we go, look. Signpost there. And Cynthia said just now about a wind farm. And she's absolutely right. Not a wind farm, a solar panel farm. Dave's gone on at that side. So we've got a big puddle. So we've got to go, crikey, that was close. So we're heading along here now. Darren, unfortunately, we had a break while we were on the beach earlier on. Darren had to get away because he didn't realise quite how long the walk was going to be. Because he had a previous arrangement, so he had to get somewhere by 2:30. So just walking through this field, Dave. Logan stopped for a little visit to some tall grass. Yeah. So we're walking through this field, And I think up in the far corner, if I remember rightly, that is where the car park is. But I have been disappointed before. But Dave, who's here to my left-hand side, has got to get back to Dorset. Mrs. Ford has got a roast dinner waiting for him when he gets back.
After today, it's been an interesting route back.
And hasn't it? Yeah. As I mentioned just now, the route was all planned out on an OS map. We came along this residential street, and the road or the street where we needed to go was completely blocked off for a builder's site. So
we kept promising us a cup of coffee.
yes,
There's a cluster over there, he says.
Yes.
So we all started to get excited about that, and it got nearer and nearer, and then it started to go
further and further away.
We never got our coffee.
No, I'm sorry about that. I was going to treat everybody to a coffee or a tea, I think Mike was going for the hot chocolate is what he was talking about. But it was a bit of a shame because it really did send us through more built up areas and through houses and footpaths. But Dave said just now that he'd forgotten that the Midhurst mile is completely different to any other mile. But yeah, it was a shame because it completely threw us for a little while. And to be honest, for a little bit there, the OS map was confusing things as well. Because the arrow that you follow was pointing in one direction and we were actually going the opposite direction. But we are on the right track now, walking through these fields. There's another finger post just in front of me, which is there. But the other strange thing is that we got to Selsley Golf Club just now, and there was a finger post pointing straight on or to our right through the golf club. So that's the route we took. It'll be slightly shorter. Stopped at the pro shop, and the guy in there says there is no footpath through the golf club or golf course. And I said, well, forgive me, but there is a sign at the end of your road that tells us differently. And I said, and if it is a public footpath, then the public are allowed to use it. Anyway, we decided to go back across some grass and pick up the trail that we're now on, and the golf pro is going to have a look into the signpost, which is clearly wrong. So Steve's leading us through this mud. Whoop.
Just keep an eye on that. And you're all right.
But it's going to be interesting to see when we do other walks in the future if Dave's going to venture up to join us again, because it's been a long trek.
You'll have to come and join me and Logan on a New Forest walk.
Yeah, I'd love to do that. Yeah, we'll come down, join up with you. In fact, we're supposed to be heading down that way at some point to do a walk from Bewley to Buckler's Hard.
Oh yeah, I've done that one.
Yeah. So we
countryside walks.
Oh yes, Dave. Forgive me, Dave's countryside walk. Dave is another one of these people like myself that goes out on walks and he videos it. He takes photographs and he puts them up on his YouTube channel and Facebook page. And it's, as I say, Dave's countryside walks.
Yeah, so we have done the Bewley. We did it. It was a very cold day, that one. It was about 0 degrees. So it'd be nice to do that one in the spring.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we'd come down and join you. That'd be good. But I will put a link up to Dave's YouTube channel when this gets uploaded to YouTube for my channel. So anyway, yeah, let's press on round this field. And I'm now beginning to think that the buildings I thought were the car park weren't. But we're not far away now, I know that. Thank goodness we say. Well, folks, we are back. There was a little bit of worry earlier on when Cynthia and Steve got us lost.
Saved a day more like.
But have we all enjoyed it? Have we enjoyed the walk? Yeah. Excellent. They've all enjoyed it. That's great, which means they may or may not come back on the next one. So anyway, this will be Kevin, Cynthia, Ian, Dave, Steve and Mike saying bye-bye, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye. Thanks, everybody.
Well, folks, we hope you enjoyed that walk. If you did, please give the channel a thumbs up and a like, and do leave a comment. And do consider subscribing to Kevin's channel. Hopefully that way you'll be able to enjoy one of his walks sometime in the future. Thanks for watching, and cheerio. Good boy.